Stand Up Talk. Now, another offering from the Stand Up Talk Radio Network.
Crime is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
Against the back of his, up against the chest of his co-host, John Shefsky.
Back or chest? Which one is it?
Up against my greasy chest.
I read it against your chest. I grease your chest, then I read it.
You tattoo it on my chest.
I'll tattoo your chest right now.
My chest is almost covered right now in just all the stories.
Yeah?
It's super tiny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Clay Allison is on your chest?
Play the music.
Oh, we will.
Play Allison.
Right now. Crime is the show that starts now.
Oh, like right now?
Oh, yeah. Do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything to me. Don't you dare.
Crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. Hey, everybody. How are you? I'm doing great. John Shefsky's doing pretty damn great. And we just want to say thanks for jumping on the Patreon, supporting the show.
Those dollars are helping.
Dude, $2 a month, you get access to all the bonus content. It's pretty fun.
Is that where we're at right now? $2 a month?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what's happening. No, not where we're at. People pay $2 a month and they get access to everything.
No,
that's how it works.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
I
that's
meant
what's up.
I mean, we're making $2 a month.
So thanks for supporting the show, guys. You're pretty awesome. If you haven't seen, there's some pretty cool stuff on there. You can get stickers, shirts, posters, signed copies of the script. We don't have dick pics up there yet, but I'm sure we will at some point.
Private detective
Today,
photographs.
Our guest is a very funny comedian and host of the show My Talented Friends on the YouTubes. Please welcome the very funny Christine Little!
Yay! Hi, how's it going?
Good.
You guys are so high energy.
That's why we drink caffeine before that. That's why I offered caffeine rather than a protein box.
He's drinking tea.
There's caffeine in
green
tea.
tea's got caffeine.
Yeah.
Don't you start
Two
worrying about
bags
me.
in there.
Yeah.
There are
Two what's?
There's 2 bags.
Bags.
Oh, I thought you said bags, and I was like, that's strange.
That's just her
Bags?
accent, dude.
Yeah.
She's from
I am-
another place.
I was going to tell her that it was wrong.
Begs?
Yeah, people say like bags or like don't say bags, like they say it with a
I
weird.
thought you
Or
meant
people when they say
bags.
wash. Did you wash your hands?
I don't like that. There's no R in it.
But that's why it's fun to hear it.
Yeah.
And bag, you know.
James
Bag.
Brown Miller.
James Brown.
I know who
I
James
know.
Brown is.
Oh my gosh, this is the true story of James Brown.
Is this when he saw the cops and ran and then they arrested him because of that?
Yeah, that's the whole story.
I committed a crime, sir.
I already told the
Podcast
story.
over, guys. It's been
Have a
good
good
hanging
night.
out.
It's been really fun, guys. Thanks.
We solved the crime. The mystery's done. James Brown. The
James
criminal.
Brown Miller was born on October 25th, 1866.
Almost a Halloween
That's really
baby.
close to okay.
In the 1800s? Do you say 1866?
1866.
Ooh, that's a scary Halloween time.
That is
That's like the
scary.
real
That's
ghosts.
in
yeah.
Van Buren, Arkansas.
He probably haunts the Comedy Store. It's haunted here. You know that, right?
From ghosts from before the Comedy Store?
Yes.
Like Indians?
they
Native
find new
Americans?
places. They have to
Podcast coming to you from the
them.
Comedy Store Dungeon. What's up?
Yeah.
We forgot to say that.
Yeah, our guest might be Christine Little, but there could be thousands upon thousands of souls just chilling while we do this
I'm
podcast.
terrified.
You're scaring me now. This is supposed to be a comedy podcast. I'm fucking nervous.
I shouldn't have brought that up. All right,
His
go
father,
ahead.
Jacob, was a stonemason, so the family moved to Austin, Texas a year after his birth when Dad got a job helping build the Texas Capitol building.
Boring.
I know, loser. They moved to Austin, like open a glass blowing place or something, right? Keep it interesting.
Dispensary. Is it legal?
Do they have it? Is it legal there?
Not
I don't
quite.
know. I feel like if
Not
anywhere
quite.
it would be Austin. I'm sure they smoke weed there.
There's a lot
But
of weed
Austin's just
there.
a city. I don't think you can legalize weed in your city. And then
You
you'd still have-
can't?
No, I think the state.
Well,
like,
you
would,
could
like,
pass like a city ordinance and be like, weed's legal in the state's like, no, it's not. You're like, well,
You like fight over it. I guess you could try that. I don't know how laws work though.
Yeah, who
They're
knows?
Mostly dumb.
Stonemason.
Gravity's
That's
cool.
like such a hack job
Yeah.
for that time.
Totally.
Like everyone was a stonemason.
basic. You're a basic mason.
All right.
basic
A
mason.
few years later, Jacob died, so
Ew.
James's mother.
What do you mean ill? Because his dad passed away.
Ew,
That's
gross.
fucked up, man. Jeez,
You
Christine.
died?
Yeah.
Swipe left. Ugh. I don't know which way is the right way. I never know.
I know. Neither of us have
left the good way.
been. Neither of us have been single
Neither of
since
us have
Tinder
been
came
singles,
out. Yeah.
I'll tell you guys.
Yeah. Hey, whore. What do you do on that thing? That app of yours?
It is swipe left.
To say no or to say yes?
I deleted it to say no.
Okay, good. So I did it
Think about
right.
that.
Yeah, your riff worked.
Well, it makes sense. Why would you swipe right? You know, that's saying like going the right way.
Oh,
with the
correct.
wrong person. It's just not intuitive.
There's a lot of left-handed people that are listening that are probably
you
insulted.
left-handed?
I'm right, but I support
got a-
left-handed rights.
You got a
Their lives
left-handed
matter.
vibe.
I do?
You do.
Well, you know.
James Brown Miller,
Look at this. I'm touching this.
born
with
in
my left hand.
1866. They moved to Austin. His dad dies, so his mother takes the children to small Texas town of Evan to live with his grandparents. Just catching us up so we all know where we are.
Okay, so he's with his grandparents. So his mom took him there?
Yep.
And dropped him off, or she's with them?
She's
at the
with them
grandparents'?
for now, I believe.
Okay, so he lost his dad, so he's already got some issues.
Yeah.
His name is James Brown.
He wants to avenge his dad's death and stonemasonry or some shit.
Yeah, he's going to go shoot
I
some
don't know
rocks.
if that is part of the story.
Well, I'm
Avenge-
guessing it.
He was stoned to death.
How did his dad die?
And I don't know exactly how he died.
I can't listen to the rest of the story. We'll never understand why he did what he
He
did.
died while he was working on the Capitol building.
I only spent 10 hours in the downtown library researching this, so it's not like it was hard to find everything.
You lazy
Are
asshole.
you like a regular there?
Yeah. Yeah,
He has his name up on the
I have
wall
chalked
there.
up so many late fees.
Headshots on there.
Yeah.
He's got a signed headshot. In the
I paid
library.
$55 of late fees on books last week
No, you
because I just
didn't.
forgot to return
Are you
books.
serious?
Yeah.
$55?
Yes, please support the Patreon.
Please support the podcast.
So I can pay back the
Oh my
late
God.
They
fees.
need like a Netflix for books.
All right, so he's living in his grandparents' house.
Jim
Dad
was known
died,
as a
tough
bad
times.
seed from an early age. Apparently, mental illness ran in the family. His maternal grandfather had been legally declared a lunatic. There were even
Is that like a
that was
lunatic?
yeah.
Formal like diagnosis? He's a
Oh yeah.
lunatic.
No, some formal diagnoses that we've heard on the show before: lunatic, idiot is one of my favorite ones. Being medically diagnosed as an idiot.
My favorite is female hysteria.
Female hysteria
You're
is a great
suffering
one.
from female hysteria.
Yeah.
Now
And
lay down.
And they get rid of, and they do a hysterectomy, and they get rid
Nope.
of you.
Nope.
It's actually creepier.
It's way
but better
creepier than that.
It's creepier, but
You
better
guys
than a
felt
surgery
so
where they
good
remove a
saying
body
no
part.
to me. What?
I said it's creepier, but better than removing a surgery a body
From the
part.
Johnny Scortis episode, what did we end up calling that one? Something about chocolate.
The long and the short of it, they used to just like rub women out at the
Oh yeah, they
doctor.
rub
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
Right.
If you were a bored rich woman, they would go, well, you have a medical problem that requires that I diddle you.
Like your husband would send you there. It's just such an awkward culture at that time. Not like nowadays.
That'd
Go
be
on.
cool.
There were even some rumors that the crazy old man had murdered Jim's father and uncles. With that in mind, it's not entirely surprising that 8-year-old Jim was held as a suspect when his grandparents were discovered in their bed, dead from a pair of shotgun blasts.
Ew. How old was he?
8?
They called it a pair of shotgun blasts.
Yeah.
What should they have called it?
I don't know, like 2.
Sounds like a cool kind of
I mean,
pants,
I
huh?
called it a pair. I wrote a pair.
Oh, okay.
I wrote
See,
the
that
number.
was the only thing that bothered me about that. Oh, the 8-year-old killing his grandparents made sense, but
Pretty normal.
all right.
Especially for this show. While the historical record is a little sketchy in the details, Jim was let go either because of his innocence or of his age. So, Jim was sent to live with his sister and her husband, John Coop, on a ranch outside of Gatesville.
Who also
He
wound
killed
up
them.
dead in their bed.
He
I'm just
killed
guessing.
them. Wait, so where was his mom? His mom.
At this point, his mom's like, I can't deal with you anymore. Go live with your sister.
Okay.
While the change
Everyone
of
does
venue
that.
was supposed to help young Jim settle down, his temper only grew and he frequently clashed with his brother-in-law. Despite, or maybe because of his anger, Jim turned to religion.
How old was he at this point?
He's
9,
like,
10.
he got sent there at 8. This is like in his teens.
Okay.
now. Yeah.
He's like a 13-year-old, like
Yeah.
probably like just a horny little like robber, mugger.
No, he's a murderer.
Oh yeah, you might
He
be a
likes
murderer.
he does
He gets angry.
We don't know exactly if he's a
Well,
murderer yet.
okay.
This is America,
Okay,
Christine.
This is
Well,
page 1. We don't even know where we're going
Well,
is your
there's
name?
the angry outburst. Now,
Sure.
How many people get angry and rob people?
I do all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, darn it, I stubbed my toe. Give me your Mars bars.
I usually just say I need to be alone, and then I just go ride my bike or something. But I guess I robbed
When
them.
you
I
get
robbed them of
angry?
hanging out with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not gonna have this time.
You're an
You know
emotional
what? You know what
thief.
I do when I get really angry? I cry.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh.
It's a natural reaction, I think.
Check us out, Christine and I, on the podcast Right or Wrong, where we talk about all of our emotions a whole lot.
Oh,
Oh, you guys
that's
did a
fun.
podcast together called
Where we did a podcast with Ed Greer and Quincy Weekly
Oh, wow.
and Christine and myself.
Small Podcast World.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
same room and everything.
Yeah. What's up, Comedy Store? You know.
John looks pissed. He's gonna go ride his bike.
No, I was waiting for a good point that we could edit and say, go on with the story.
Jim was a regular at church services. He conducted himself as a gentleman. He did not smoke, drink, or curse. His pious ways would eventually earn him the nickname Deacon Jim.
Deacon Jim. That's a song from Steely Dan.
Deacon
On
Jim.
July 30th,
Deacon Blues.
1884, 17-year-old Jim attended church with a Miss Georgia Large.
Friends with Christine Little. This is my buddy
Large and
Georgia
Christine.
Large.
I'm Georgia Large. And I'm Christine Little.
I didn't even make that connection until right now.
Right?
Yeah.
The connection.
A love connection that he's trying to make. But midway through the service, Jim left his date in the pews, returning about 40 minutes later.
He probably had to go take a dump.
Coop, the brother-in-law, was
great
soon
detective.
discovered.
Clearly, he had a motive. He had to poop.
40 minutes. Look, back then, we didn't really have good fiber in our diets.
Oh, God.
It was just meat and cheese the entire time.
I always wonder
40
what
minutes.
shitting and eating was like in the old days. I'm like, because shitting is so fucking, it's such an important part of life.
You gotta
Yeah.
go outside.
There's like a rattlesnake.
It smells.
It's dirty. Yeah, like you could
It's
every time
dark.
you take a shit, you could get a disease and
You
die
get
from
splinters on your ass.
it. That dark hole in an outhouse, you know how scary that
Ugh,
is? Even
dude.
camping in modern times, I'm always like, what if just what if something's down there and I'm just my
Oh
you're
my
just-
God,
you're-
I didn't even think
you're just
That's why.
hanging.
That's why I don't camp more than one night because I don't want to shit in the woods anymore.
How many people do you think got
I used
bit
to
on
do
their
that.
Maybe there's like a little thing they put
I
after.
love camping, though, but-
Like a little filter they put after they shit.
Maybe. I just imagine a lot of people getting bit on the danger by like a what do they call those? The brown recluse or something like that. You know what I mean? 'Cause
When
it's
I
just
was
so-
in-
you know what I mean? Like
Oh my
it's not once in
God.
a while. You're always just going poop in weird situations.
We don't want one of those like wilderness retreats in junior high.
Yeah.
And one of the kids in my group accidentally, like, he touched poison oak, and then he,
wiped his butt?
No.
Oh.
Then he went and beat
Jacked
off.
off.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
So
wonder if
what
it felt better
happened?
though when he was
What do
jacking
you
off.
think happened?
Nothing.
Yeah, you're right. Nothing. His dick was fine.
That's
there was
cool.
nothing wrong with
Isn't
it.
No,
that stuff
no.
contagious too?
I mean, like, if it's just oil, so if it gets on you, you can get fucked up. And it, I mean, look, maybe he was like, "Oh, my hands are oily. This is a great
Are
time."
you serious?
But he had just a big, and it looked like a red balloon. It was insane.
You saw it.
Yes, of course
he saw
What do
it.
you mean?
You went
If I wouldn't rub one off on my clit after I touched a bunch of poison, I wouldn't be like, look at this.
Yeah, you're
You
not a
wouldn't- you wouldn't be
guy.
I'm not a guy.
No, but you wouldn't be freaking out like pulling your pants to like this and be like, guys, to the other girls and be like, dude, what the hell's going on?
You know what? Knowing me, I'd be so embarrassed that I would just be like, I'm fine. And I'd just be like enlarged. I'm like, you guys go ahead without me.
Oh yeah, there's the
That's
classic
what I-
you guys go.
No,
You guys go
guys
ahead.
are like, dude, what the fuck is up
Yeah,
with
I think the
this?
first thing you do when there's a problem is you like pull your cock out and be like, hey buddy, can you just make me feel okay with whatever's going on
Also,
here?
the first thing you
Like-
do when you're
probably-
bored is pull your dick out and be like, hey, isn't this funny? So,
Really?
Yeah,
Is that what guys do?
Yeah, my buddy. It's your dick and balls.
yeah.
He probably just
You just
wanted
pull it
to
out.
show you guys because
In
it
good
was
times and bad.
bigger, because it was swollen.
Oh, did he have a-
Oh,
did he
yeah.
have a
He's like,
huge
guys,
dick?
look how
Did
big
he have
my
a huge
dick is.
dick?
We're like, that's just infected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have a huge penis?
I mean, it was
Because she's
this
probably
is-
detective over here.
Yeah,
She
big
knows
dick.
it's all primal stuff.
Yeah,
It's either
big
someone
dick.
taking a
Big,
dump
big,
or
right?
Only,
Hey,
only
okay,
took
so-
us 12 minutes to reach something about
so-
dicks. Just
okay,
wanted to point out. It's my fault. It's my
So
fault.
he went into the dump.
Yeah. Oh, so yes, back to the story. Thank you, Christine, for keeping us on.
the face she made.
Jim
just
left
now.
his date midway through the service. Jim left his date in the pew, returning about 40 minutes later. Coop, the brother-in-law, was soon discovered dead, a victim of a shotgun blast while he slept on his front porch.
He
Holy
likes
fuck.
to get him while they sleep. He's like the Bill Cosby of fucking murder back then.
That's just murder.
You just get people sleepy.
It didn't take long for Jim to emerge as the prime suspect, as his feud with Coop was common knowledge.
How old is he now?
17.
17?
Yep.
Okay.
17.
At the-
He's twice the. It's been.
But he's Deacon Jim.
Deacon Jim. Not yet. He's not Deacon Jim yet.
Oh, but you said he was.
He would eventually earn the nickname because of his pious nature.
He was setting it up.
Yeah.
He's going to go back. He's through the ball.
Yeah.
Now he's
I
running
don't
across the
even-
field. He's going to go catch that ball.
At
some point
his
in the story.
trial-
It's amazing.
His uncle William told the jury that Jim had bragged about the killing both before and after the murder. He'd also asked to borrow his uncle's shotgun, and though Ben denied, the gun later went missing.
Case closed.
There was also the testimony of Miss Large, who informed the jury that her escort had disappeared during church, only to return after the body had been discovered.
smiling.
Jim was convicted of the murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Oh, okay. So then
And
the
the
story's
story.
done.
Cool,
Okay, there
that
you go.
was
Yeah, thanks for being on the
interesting.
podcast. That was a
Thanks,
good time. You're a really
guys.
fun guest.
But he appealed and the conviction was thrown out on a technicality.
what? No way.
What was the technicality? I was
Something about-
taking
I-
a shit.
Something was procedurally done wrong in the steps of the conviction. I don't remember exactly what it was.
OJ of the
Dude, and a murderer walks free. Like I understand, like if the procedure that was done wrong equals somebody doing something that gets bad evidence going, but man, just to be like, well, we got to, he gets. It's like it's not a game show. The guy
we did-
shoots people in the head.
Yeah, that's the greatest game show of all time.
Go on with your stupid
I
story.
like that
What?
he bragged about it before and after he did it. It's like he manifested the murder. you know?
Right?
He used the secret
Yeah.
to be on the greatest game show
He's like,
of all time.
Hi, Jim, can you explain what that is with all the pictures of a dead guy and a gun and then another gun? Yeah, man, that's my vision board. I've just been trying to actualize this murder for a while.
And that's what the story really is about, the first vision board.
A
Thank
new
you.
trial was
Oh.
ordered, but by the time the date came around, most of the witnesses against Jim had either left or mysteriously disappeared.
do you mean
Oh
they
my
left?
God. This is in the 1800s too? This is like a
18
creepy time for people to
1880s.
just be fed to alligators.
Wait, what do you mean they just
People had
left?
either left town. People were kind of a little more transient. Like, we're kind of transient
Oh,
then.
really?
Yeah, because also when you
wouldn't move
left,
at all. It
Yeah.
seemed like such a pain in the ass. You got horses.
a lot of people didn't have a lot of stuff. So moving to them was just like, I don't know, grab your jacket, let's go.
And there weren't like stores for everything. So like as an individual, like you could just be like, they're out of things for me to live a comfortable life for here, and I just have to go somewhere else now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Unless you live in the big
Also,
shitty.
everyone kept on trying to move further and further west to make their fortunes.
What about Miss Large?
Um,
The real hero.
How big was she?
I know. That's what I'm.
Was
That's
she
what I'm
curvy?
wondering.
Was she squishy?
I imagine that she has a huge butt. Is that just me?
I like to imagine that she has a huge butt.
do
I'm like, maybe
too.
she doesn't, but let me just imagine that.
Big poofy butt.
Yeah. I
After-
imagine playing the bongos on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a brief stint in an outlaw gang, Jim made his way to McCullough County, where he spent his time gambling, racing horses, and working as a cowboy for Manning Clements, one of the biggest cattle ranchers in Texas. Despite being a prominent businessman, Clements was no stranger to the dangers of the Old West.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Hey, stranger danger. Why do people say that? Hey, stranger danger.
Because that's a thing, it's a little rhyme
like
you
what
tell
you tell
kids
the
they don't get
kids.
molested.
Are you serious?
Yeah, stranger danger.
Tell that to your kid. You got to know this stuff.
I'm just gonna tell my kids
There's
like
a
straight up, don't get molested. But now I gotta make a
don't get
song out of it.
molested.
Don't let anybody fuck you, kiddo.
is
So
it?
he doesn't. I just don't want him to forget.
Yeah. Yeah, you have
Stranger
a little
danger.
So
jingly
they say
tune.
stranger danger, like they yell it or something like that.
Yeah,
that makes total sense.
they tell little kids like, "Hey, if a stranger just yell stranger danger," and they also like say stranger danger is like, okay, that's because little kids don't know shit; they're dumb,
so-
and so you have to make things easy for them.
So if my friend Amber was like, "Hey, what's up, stranger danger?" Was she telling me I'm a molester
Yes.
and she's the kid?
yeah,
But she,
yeah.
I'm insulted.
And she's the kid.
Yeah, she said, "What's up, straight?" But she said it in a friendly way. But I thought it was like from like a danger mouse or
thought
something
you
like
were
that, right?
friends.
Like danger mouse. Yeah, and I like she just called me a molester in front of the whole restaurant.
More references that Shefsky did not know.
Yeah, there's some learning lessons on this show. I'd like to think this is educational. Go on with your story.
Clements had been charged with cattle rustling, broken his outlaw
Wait,
cousin.
what
out of-
is that?
It's when you rustle cattle.
That's when you steal,
Like
basically
you,
stealing cows.
I imagine like wrestling with him.
No, cattle wrestling. Yes, cattle
You managed
wrestling.
it with an. I thought wrestling like going up to them like wrestling, like rubbing their hair,
Like a tree.
Yeah, like rustling of feathers. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know it meant stealing.
He'd been charged with
Does
making
rustling feathers mean stealing?
ruffling feathers.
Well, then what's wrestling?
There's no such thing as rustling feathers.
There's a lot of learning today on this
Yeah.
show for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Are you seriously wrestling? Isn't it?
It's rustling
it's
feathers. Ruffling feathers. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like Ricky on freaking Trailer Park Boys. I'm just messing up all the linguistics.
Clements had been arrested for cattle rustling, broken his outlaw cousin out of jail, and had once killed two trail hands during an argument over their work ethic.
Two hands that were just sitting on the trail.
Yeah.
He did what to the hands?
He killed them.
He talked to them?
Yeah.
This is the 1800. No one was like, talk to the hand.
Needless to say, Jim was warmly welcomed into the family. He regularly rode with Manning's son, called Manny. It didn't take long for him to develop feelings for Clement's daughter, Sally. She felt the same way, but the Clements were very traditional.
Okay.
And he was just an outlaw.
There's
so he
a
didn't
lot
make his
of
intentions
characters
known.
going on now.
Yeah, you gotta keep-
There's Man and the dad, Manny the son.
Man and the
Oh,
dad.
that's part of the confusing right
Okay,
there.
okay. Tell me all the. There's James
Man
Brown.
So our main character is Jim Miller. James Brown Miller. Jim Miller is our main character.
Okey-doke.
Is he like Tommy Lee? Does you imagine him like Tommy Lee or
Yes.
is Tommy Lee in No Country for Old Men like just a
Tommy
cattle-
Lee Jones, not Tommy Lee.
There's
Tommy
no-
Lee
Yeah, from
is a very
Motley
different.
Crue.
Yeah.
No country for old men.
What do you think your impression of it?
No, because there's no crying in baseball. Every time I hear there's no country for old men, I think of it like that.
There's no country
There's
for
no
old men.
country.
Have you ever seen that poster someone said is a No Country for Old Men and had Gary Oldman's face on it? But it's like the same theme.
Fucking clowned him.
They just clowned him with dad
Got him.
jokes.
Got him.
Okay,
that
so
term.
there's Jim
So
Brown.
Jim Miller.
Brown.
Oh,
is
wait.
Jim Brown Miller.
Okay.
James Brown Miller. Jim Miller.
Gotta pick one name though, Slade.
Yeah, Jim Miller is his name. That's what I'm going with the entire time. I
Okay.
said
Okay.
his middle name to open it.
James Brown's more memorable, but you know what?
But we
I've
think
written
of the
Jim and
soul
Miller.
singer. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying when you say James
Okay.
Brown.
He'll be referred to as Jim
Did you commit the
Miller
crime?
or Jim Miller for the rest of the show.
Got a little blood.
I shot him and he was asleep. That was good, right?
That was good. That was the cutest one too. Asleep.
So now we've met the Clements family.
who are these-
Mannon Clements is the father who's
that's
the
his
big cattle
name.
rancher. Mannon.
Daddy Clemens.
I thought you were saying man and son, like they were a pair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they are also.
Well, there's Mannon, the father,
Okay.
Manny's
Manny's
the
the
son,
son.
Oh my god.
and
Yeah, I
Sally,
know.
the daughter.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. This is
No,
confusing
no,
as
no.
shit. right?
Every episode, we kind of have to take Rich by the neck. What do you call that? That chain that goes to the slave's neck, and pull it back a little bit,
dear.
and just tell him, "Hey,
He meant the
buddy,
sex slave, not
The
like
sex slave. Oh, no,
Okay,
you're not.
yeah, I was
not
triggered.
early
I was
1800s.
triggered.
Don't
Yeah.
you?
Okay.
What'd you say? Oh,
I was
sorry.
triggered.
That word sounds kind of offensive, actually. Every time I hear it, I'm like,
mean you
"What'd you
were
call me?"
James Miller.
James Miller.
Manny and Mannon. Mm-hmm. We need nicknames for these guys. And Sally.
Well,
Let's call the dad Father Manning.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
And then there's Manny, the kid,
Manny,
and
the kid.
Sally, the daughter.
And who's
Sally,
McLennan?
Well, their last name is Clements.
Clement. Okay, so I was
So
wrong.
there's
This
no
is the Clements
McLennan.
family. Yeah.
Okay.
The family was traditional, and even though he and Sally were kind of in love, he was just an outlaw, so he didn't make his intentions known to the family.
Is this Jim?
This is Jim, our main
Okay.
character, Jim Miller.
He'd like to hit it and quit it.
Then in 1887, tragedy struck. Father Mannon was a candidate for sheriff in a heated race and was drinking heavily in the Senate saloon. He got mouthy when he drank, and that night got into an argument with a city marshal. Guns were drawn, and Father Mannon was killed on the spot.
Wait, he was running for sheriff?
Yeah.
He was running for sheriff.
What a way to prove.
And he was running his mouth
And now he's running
Blood into the gutters.
with the fishes.
or with the fishes.
Everyone
That's an
runs
old
with the
term, running with the
It's
fishes.
sleeping with the fishes.
Running with the fishes.
Dun, dun.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Soon after, the marshal was riding home at night when a shotgun blast came from the darkness. The marshal survived, but
That's
is
your
left.
sound effect
That's-
for. Oh, Paul, he done shot me. Don't you fire another one, please, sir. Give us a chance. Tell God I said hello.
Wow, Gunsmoke smells different in this state.
Don't you think like war movies would be so much more fun if
They
it was
did
just
fart
like
noises.
automatic
We should
guns would
do
be
that.
crazy, right?
We should dub
Okay,
those
we
over.
recut Saving Private Ryan, but
Oh,
every
yeah.
gunshot
Okay,
is just a
can
fart
we please
noise.
do that?
Dude, can it's probably it's so genius. It's probably been done.
I don't think it
we
has.
We should.
Let's do it.
The three of us make the pact right now. And if you're listening and you do it, you better give us
you
credit
better
and we better make some
pay
cash,
that
man.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Pay the Patreon.
The marshal survived, but his left arm had to be amputated
Why?
Why did it have to?
because it
Why?
got shot really bad in 1880 something.
Oh, that's like when like just it's like hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
They're like, there's really not much.
Well, yeah, what are we going
Just
to do
take
here?
the damn thing off. It's distracting.
Yeah, the doctor's all insisting, like, sir, why do you even want to keep the darn thing, right? Yeah, you save money
Yeah.
on gloves.
Coincidentally, Jim Miller was gone the following day.
Okay,
was-
wait.
He skipped town
Why? Because he
because he
shot Manny?
pretty clearly had shot the marshal. The marshal shot his
his
friend.
It's another
Father
confusing. I'm
Manning.
confused too.
okay.
So we're at a saloon, right?
We're in a
I'm
saloon.
imagining Deadwood. We're at a saloon.
Jim's friend,
Jim's friend.
the dad of the,
The
family.
dad.
Yeah, who's his boss and the
His
father
boss.
of the chick he's got a crush on.
low key father-in-law.
Loki father-in-law, right?
Loki, father-in-law. Okay.
Yeah, Thor's father-in-law.
He's running
Then
for sheriff,
He's running for sheriff.
and he's a troublemaker. Which
Gets
is a
into an
hilarious
argument with the
combo.
marshal.
Talking shit.
Pulls
Marshall.
guns out,
go-
probably
they-
talking shit. Pulls his gun out.
They pull guns. Dad gets killed. Then the killer, this U.S. Marshal, gets shot with a shotgun blast in the middle of the night.
James Brown Miller.
Someone was seeking a
Someone-
little
Middle-
revenge for the.
Probably Jim Miller.
So his MO is like, I'll shoot him while they're sleeping.
He doesn't have. He's a
Kinda
he's a psychopath.
coward.
Well, I don't think it's just that he's a coward. He's just a crazy person that just he's not thinking about it in an honor way. He's probably just
No.
like, I'm just gonna kill that. He just kills without worrying about it.
Just in the middle of the night, though. It's like,
In the middle of the night,
I go killing in my
I go
sleep.
killing in my sleep. I'm so glad you picked up on that one. It's a Billy
course.
Joel reference. It's hard sometimes to get a whole group on board for improving when it comes to old Billy.
Jim disappeared, but resurfaced 4 years later in Pecos.
Pecos?
A hard town in West Texas.
Oh yeah, dude.
Heckles.
That's in all the country songs.
When Jim rode into town,
That's
everyone took notice of the man with pale blue eyes wearing a full-length black coat in the August heat.
Oh, he's fucking.
Fucking
he's
trench coat mafia.
He's a scary dude, but he's good looking. He's got those deadly.
Damn, who's that fine ass dude with the pale blue eyes and that long ass coat?
Bet you
Oh,
that coat
It's
smells
hot
good.
outside.
Dun dun dun
Why
dun
does he
dun
have
dun
that coat
dun
on?
dun 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 dun
What's that
dun
Grease
dun
song?
dun 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 dun.
I wonder what he's covering under that coat.
Rider.
I thought you guys were gonna go into.
No.
I like blue-eyed murderers, and I cannot lie.
Especially if he sleeps you while you sleep.
Shoots you while you sleep?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll shoot you while you're sleeping, if you know what I mean.
Sway in
like,
the
not
morning.
with a gun,
5
you know.
fingers of death. Let's go, Christine Little. Let's drop that beat.
Oh my God, I think she's choking, Slaton. Why'd you make her beatbox?
I never did that
That
before.
was really good for
was
the
really
first
good.
time.
That was bad.
But next time
it was
it's probably-
a joke. You couldn't see my face. It was really funny, probably.
I really think it was funny somewhere in some dimension.
Townspeople whispered and followed as the stranger entered the saloon and ordered a glass of water.
Wait, they followed him?
They
in?
followed because they're in a small town, and a
That's the
stranger
news.
in a long
wrote-
black coat in the Texas August heat.
That is,
He's gonna order some water.
Oh my God! Why water? That's really weird, isn't it?
So this was 4 years after that last murder, right?
4 years after the last
so,
murder.
but he's only noticeable to people now.
Well, he disappeared for a while. Rumors were he was down in the Mexican area
Oh, okay.
gambling and is kind of like laying low for a while.
I'm just going to tell you a little something about murdering people. At some point, you have to just kind of go on what they call the lam, and then you
Okay.
have to reinvent yourself. It's like being a comedian, but from a different city.
That sounds good.
It's
Lamb.
really
Yeah,
special. You're hungry?
Is that what lambs do?
yeah,
are
they
good.
go.
Really?
They all sound really old and tired.
They sound disinterested. They're all, meh. Hey, lamb, you want some grass? Meh. Hey, lamb, you want to watch a DVD of like an old TV show? Meh.
Hey, Lamb, do you mind if I, eat you or whatever? Because you seem pretty tasty.
Bah.
Yeah, that sounds like
what
a
they
yes.
do?
That sounds like a yes, actually. Like, okay, fine. If you don't mind, I'll just take a bite right now.
No one asks a lamb before they eat him. Go on with
I
the story.
always ask.
That's because you're a good-natured
You're a
boy.
good guy, Rich.
A crooked rancher.
Verified by Christine Little right here. Good guy, Rich. Stamp him.
Jim orders a glass,
she shot
of
him.
water
Okay,
from the
sorry.
bar. A crooked rancher approached the bar with bad intentions, demanding that Jim take off his long black coat.
Wait, this guy's got scoliosis?
No, some guy.
No, like some
another-
bad guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
because he said he was crooked. I
Yeah.
figured he had scoliosis.
So there's another bad guy now.
A bad guy
That, like,
walks
walks
up to Jim Miller, who's in the bar, and is like, "What's up with your coat? Take it off."
Take off that damn coat.
Words were exchanged.
under it?
What's under that coat?
You don't want to see what's under this coat, sir.
Yeah,
I bet it's poison ivy.
Hey, shut up, lady.
Here's my.
She's like
Watch
this-
out! It's big and red.
Imagine like being in a saloon, like having two like hard ass like old school bros going at it, like about to shoot each other, and Christine standing next by saying stuff like, "Yeah, why don't you show us?
Come on, let's see.
What you got there?"
What's under your coat?
Take it off. Take it. Cowboys gone wild.
Just adding a little zestiness.
These cowboys will do anything, and I mean anything.
Oh, that's weird.
In that August heat
You
of
and your
Pecos, Texas,
fantasies.
when the liquor's flowing and the water's being poured,
I knew Rich would
you
turn it
know
into-
what's gonna come out here. We've got guns, and we've got guns, if you know what I mean, right?
Oh.
1995. Get your DVD sent to your house in a discreet box, unmarked, so your wife won't know that you're really into hard cowboy dick.
Hard cocked.
This really, you turned it. I talked about penises earlier, but you turned it into a gay cowboy porn. I knew that would happen.
Of course.
Every story.
Isn't that what we're all
It's
about?
actually kind of a good idea. Not
This
the
show
porn,
could be
but,
renamed
like,
Gay
the-
Cowboys, and it would kind of be accurate.
We'd have a bunch of hits, but then people would come. They'd be like, I don't want to listen anymore. They never end up taking off their clothes and doing anything.
Yeah.
They'd be bored.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Or
have
we'd
to
get a
pivot.
few random fans that are like, I had no idea that I was like a huge fan of just like raw riffing on comedy stories,
Yeah, I get that.
Right?
Where the hell was I?
So
yes.
they were whispering.
pulled-
Oh, crooked guy came in. He had scoliosis.
Words were exchanged, and the rancher went for his gun. But before he could grab the handle, Jim had his muzzle buried in the cowboy's stomach. He made his
gross.
intentions clear. He was moving to Pecos, and troublemakers were no longer welcome. So he didn't fire. He just put the gun in his stomach and was like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like he had a
Yeah,
little
he-
restraint because he was in public.
I like that he didn't shoot him because he was awake.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say,
That's a
he's
really
like,
good point.
if you were sleeping, oh buddy, you.
He's like the Freddy Krueger of shooters. Like, just don't fall asleep and you'll be fine.
Totally.
Word made its way to local sheriff Bud Frazier, who rushed over.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for local sheriff Bud Frazier.
Hey guys, happy to be here. I got word that there was a muzzle. Somebody stuck a gun in someone's muzzle.
Say something funny.
Bud Frazier. Boo! He gets booed.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys are awful. Good luck up there, kid.
Frazier rushed over to the saloon to see the town's newest citizen. He headed to the bar and he asked Jim, "Would you mind telling me, sir, just why you wear a coat in weather like this?"
Dude, these people are fucking petty.
The
Who
crowd went
cares?
quiet, expecting the guns to come out again. This time, Jim just smiled and answered, "This coat, you might say, is my life insurance. So long as I wear it, no harm can come to me. He explained the coat had belonged to a lawman who never took a bullet. It was a gift, and he thought it was lucky. Jim and Frazier talked for a while, then headed to the sheriff's station. When they came back out, Jim wore a deputy's star on the front of his long black coat.
He got hired off of that?
Yeah.
This guy's...
That's how you got that's how you got a job as a sheriff then?
That's fucking white privilege.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
the epitome of white privilege. Like,
I think that for 1887, that's pretty mild white privilege of all the white privilege from 1887.
But it's a really good, like, it almost is like a timeless, like, representation of, like, but, like, his resume includes, like, a ton of shady stuff and murder, but you're like, but he had charisma and he looked right. He looked right for the part. You're like, okay, well, he's the boss now.
I like that story about your coat.
Yeah.
How would you like to run this town? You threatened a guy earlier? Sounds good.
You got chutzpah. You want to work for me? Like, wow.
You got a bright future, kid. Just stick with me. You'll be fine.
That's what the sheriff said? Mm-hmm. Stick with me, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see.
You'll see.
We'll have your name and lights.
That's right.
We don't have lights yet because there's no electricity in this town because we're in the middle of Texas. But when we get them, your name will be in them. I promise you that.
Step right up. Continue the story.
The townspeople liked Jim because he understood the ranching business and didn't bother local shops and saloons except on official police business. He joined the church and quickly became a prominent member of the Amen Corner.
Deacon Jim.
Mm-hmm. In 1891, Manny and Sally Clements came to town.
How'd they know? Did he write him a letter?
I guess he did. Jim, having earned the family's undying loyalty.
This is the kids. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Having earned the family's undying loyalty.
This is the true story of City Slickers, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Is it?
No.
It has nothing to do with it.
Yes. No. Jim soon married Sally.
Oh, finally. They're together.
Yep. Manny served as his part-time deputy. Everything was going great.
Nice.
Nepotism.
Well, thank you for being here. This was a great podcast.
This is really fun.
Until
Somebody fell asleep.
Dragged back in.
cattle and horses began to disappear from ranches throughout the valley. Miller rode the trail searching for the culprits, but he had no luck. Things just got worse. At a town meeting, people offered suggestions on how to stop the thefts.
I got an idea. What if someone you see someone stealing it, you tell them to stop?
I think that works. How's everyone feel about the stop motion?
Yeah.
All right, meeting adjourned. Next problem.
Harumph. Harumph.
I've been getting splinters every time I go and sit in the new outhouse. So how are we going to solve that problem?
You shoot them. Shoot the splinters. What are you doing here?
Everyone agree on the shoot the splinters problem?
Shoot the splinters.
All right, motion passed. All right, next up. I don't want to live here anymore. We solve problems very poorly.
Idea. Shoot yourself.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. Oh, God, he did it right in front of us. Now I'm going to shoot myself.
Oh, no, that was my whole family. What do I do? I know.
And there was silence because no one was left.
And that's how the town of Pecos became a ghost.
Thanks, guys. This
Fart.
has been really fun.
And then she pulls out a gun on the podcast and puts it to her head and goes,
A rancher.
JK, it's just a fart gun.
It's just a fart
Got
gun,
it to
guys.
At the meeting, a rancher named Barney Riggs, cousin of Sheriff Frazier, accused Jim of knowing the identity of the livestock thieves. Jim simply laughed and quipped that they should consider the idea carefully. The town began to split into two factions, those who believed Jim Miller and those who believed Barney Riggs. A few weeks later, Jim left to escort a Mexican prisoner for transfer,
To escort.
but returned far too early.
What do you mean?
What happened to that Mexican boy y'all were traveling with?
He claimed the prisoner had escaped and he was forced to shoot him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he escaped and I was forced to shoot him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he fell asleep at one point, so I shot him.
Jim just hates snoring. That's his whole thing.
Are you? Yeah, that's.
He's like, you sleep when you're dead, and guess what? You're dead now.
You're both.
Yeah. I was just helping them out because you see, they're already sleeping, but they're not really sleeping. And I love them so much that I really want to give them a taste of real sleep. So I shoot them.
With no witnesses to say otherwise, Jim's story held up.
Yeah, no,
Until Riggs came in with information that implicated Jim Miller as the thief.
The Mexican boy knew.
Frazier followed the lead and found some of the missing livestock.
Why
He
is-
dismissed his deputy, but lacked enough evidence to charge him with the thefts. In 1892, Jim Miller ran against Frazier for sheriff. He lost, but that didn't stop him from putting on the badge of the city marshal.
What do you mean?
So he lost. He was like, well, I lost sheriff. Fuck it. I'm marshal now. and just put on a badge and was like, I'm also law enforcement.
What's Marshall do?
It's like a Western policeman kind of.
So this corrupt motherfucker
Yeah.
has the nerve to fucking lose, has the nerve to be like, I'm still a cop here.
Yep.
And what happened? The town immediately revolted against that bullshit.
No, half the town was super in support of him because he was really Christian.
How many of the gyms are still out there right now in our society?
I bet you a lot.
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's
At
terrifying.
least 4.
Reverend Tony Meeks. Anybody ever watch him on late night Oklahoma television?
No.
No.
Is he a
Oh,
criminal
he's-
or what?
Probably. I don't know.
Criminal? Oh.
Allegedly.
Why'd you bring him up?
I was just thinking of Reverend.
Thank you. Thank God you're here, Christine, because I
was thinking
that went over my head. Why'd you bring him up?
You know what? I went from Jim to the deacon thing, and
Yeah.
then to a reverend, and then Tony Meeks. I thought I saw when I was in Oklahoma
I went to
in
school
2000.
with a guy named Matt Meeks.
Dude, this is great.
You think they're
I
related?
heard that the meek should inherit like the earth or something.
The Meeks shall inherit the
Yeah,
earth.
so it came full circle.
For the next year, both men patrolled
right?
Pecos in an uneasy peace. But in the May of
Uneasy
1893,
peasy?
Frazier left town on a prisoner escort, and all hell broke loose.
Ooh, these
The bars
escorts.
and gambling dens ran 24 hours. Fights broke out in the streets, and citizens were robbed in broad daylight. All the while, Marshal Jim Miller calmly walked the streets in his black coat.
As all this was going on,
He's still got that dirty ass coat on.
he likes the coat.
The black
That's
coat's like
not
his-
my least. What do you
It's
call
like
it?
his signature thing.
That's not like the most important bad thing about him.
Got my coat on.
Yeah, he's doing evil things. Christine's over there like, I wish he would wash his jacket. The guy's corrupt.
I bet it's dirty.
Somebody wired the story to Frazier, who boarded the first train home to confront his former deputy. Jim and his crew had set a trap for Frazier.
Was this like two guys in the street, like standing across from each other with like,
Wow.
Well, this is that time period.
yeah.
Jim and his crew set a trap for Frazier, planning to stage a fight where a stray bullet would take out the sheriff. But a man named Con Gibson overheard the plot and got word to Frazier, who arrived in town flanked by a pair of Texas Rangers. Jim was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder, but again was acquitted for lack of evidence.
Wow. This
Con
guy's-
Gibson, the whistleblower, immediately left town.
Does he have a lot of money to get good? Does he have good lawyers all the time, or is
He
it
has
just-
great lawyers.
Really?
Great lawyers.
So this Conway Twitty guy comes into town.
Yes,
and tells
Conway Twitty.
everybody,
Yeah.
and then he leaves after it's
Con Gibson overheard the murder plot,
Oh.
got word to the sheriff
And then
that he was about
left.
to be murdered. But then, as soon as the plot was over, Con was like, "I should probably skip town because these guys are murderers. I don't want to be around."
Totally gonna shoot me in my sleep.
Is there a good song about this? Did Johnny Cash write a song
Probably.
about this? Texas Red or any of that stuff? Is that about this?
Most likely.
Myself today.
Was that his cover of Nine Inch Nails?
So good.
So great.
Jim could no longer be city marshal, so he went into the hotel business, taking over the building that had been his home in the city.
Naturally, right?
He's an entrepreneur. You know what? He may be murderous, but he's ambitious.
Yeah. He's just a really
got a
violent like
hustle.
guy with drive.
Yeah.
But he was not going to forget the wrongs he felt had been done to him and his kin.
So he kept a little bit of a grudge. So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get them, but right now I'm gonna rent out a room for nights for one piece of gold coin or
We
something."
got hotel rooms.
In New Mexico,
It's a much better solicit. Thank you. Mine was like, I was like, I'm gonna rent a room out. I'm not cut out for this business. But you knew exactly what he should say. We got hotel rooms, folks. Come on down. That's how you make the sale.
in New Mexico, Con Gibson, the whistleblower,
Oh, he's gonna get killed.
was met in a saloon by John Denston, one of Jim's relatives. Con yelled out, "Damn you, Denston! You've come to kill me!" and reached for his gun. But Denston was the faster draw, and he put Gibson in the ground.
Okay.
Dude, so I didn't know Jimmy had so much family.
He not only did he have
killed them all.
he moved into he married into a big family. He married into the Clemens family, which
His
is
family he like killed. He's like, you
In
guys
fact, one
suck,
of his
but these guys-
cousins-
they say you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. He picked a different
his
family.
cousin by marriage was John Wesley Hardin, who's one of the most famous old gunslingers from the West.
That's
So,
probably a strategic move for him because you haven't mentioned Sally at all.
yeah, she'll come up here and there.
Ooh.
I think I don't remember much.
Push
I wrote a lot of this
daisies.
at 4 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Since Gibson drew first, local authorities released Denston on the grounds that it was self-defense. But back in Pecos, Frazier knew different.
He knows what's going on.
No different.
The morning of April 12th, 1894, Jim Miller stood outside his hotel in Pecos when he found himself face to face with Frazier's pistol.
Oh, fair. Okay.
The sheriff fired at his chest, but the bullet didn't drop the outlaw. Jim reached for his
Missed.
gun, and Frazier fired again. this time hitting him in the shoulder.
My shoulder.
Now Jim grabbed his gun with his left and started firing. But he didn't have good aim with his offhand.
Missed me.
Frazier
Missed me again.
fired 3 more shots into Jim's chest.
My chest.
But the man in black kept coming forward.
Oh, wow.
Finally,
this is a fucking epic
Frazier
fucking fight.
fired his last bullet into
Jason
Miller's groin,
Voorhees.
and the man fell to the ground. Satisfied, Frazier walked back to his office.
In his groin?
So
Yeah.
now he has shot Jim Miller 6 times.
Dude,
Holy fuck.
Dude, Jim Miller's like the Tupac of the fucking Old West.
Dude, groin shot?
is he
groin
not
shot.
dead?
Does it get? I mean, you die from that, right? Because how do you even get the bullet out if you get shot in the groin? Like that's a weird spot, right?
You gotta suck it out, bro.
I'm turtle heading.
Suck it out. Suck it out.
Suck
Suck it out.
Suck it out.
Did you ever see that scene in MacGruber when he's got the
I didn't.
bullet in his thigh? And oh, dude. Okay, well,
Jim's crew picked him
should.
up and carried him back to his hotel, where they discovered, very much to their surprise, that he was alive.
I knew it. I knew he was alive.
that's right. Jesus wants this guy to go on.
When they
How it
examined
works.
their unconscious leader, they found the bullets flattened against a thick steel plate under his long black coat.
he didn't get shot in the cock.
Well, he got shot somewhere in the groin, but 3 bullets were bam, bam, bam right in the chest.
They didn't hurt him because it
He's
'Cause
got
he
that
was-
black coat on, but the coat isn't lucky. He just wears steel.
probably keeps him in good
He was
shape
wearing.
too, right?
He was doing the
Yeah.
Back to the Future
Wonder.
3.
Yeah.
He had a steel plate hidden under the black coat
Yeah.
as like a bulletproof vest.
Oh, was that normal?
No, I mean Back to the Future 3. It's a mediocre.
It's a historically
not the best in the
accurate-
trilogy.
No.
I
Is
love
it
that
normal
movie.
to have like a steel plate underneath your?
No, it's not normal. That's your guys' reaction to this detail
Yeah.
has been so mild.
What do you mean?
I was like, this is gonna be the most fucking like, what? He was wearing a bulletproof vest that he made out of a steel
No,
plate. That's
I think that's what Christine's doing. Actually,
I figured he was still alive because I could see all the papers. I mean, you wouldn't keep talking about it. Like you wouldn't be like, and then his ghost walked into the hotel.
then I'd be like, what? His ghost needed a place to stay? Like ghosts don't have somewhere to be? Like what if ghosts they do need like ghosts like, hey, like gotta rent a pad, right?
That's why rent prices in LA are so high. It's because all
fucking
these
dead
ghosts
people.
keep taking
Oh,
up.
God.
I'm still gonna live here. I'm dead. I don't care.
That's why they hang out at the Comedy Store. Like I just crash here. It's just my place. They let me stay.
Ugh, ghosts moved in. There goes the neighborhood. Time to sell.
That's so racist.
What is that a reference to?
Yeah,
Ghosts.
seriously. I'm offended. You triggered me or something. I don't know if that's a gun reference. But
When
yeah.
Jim finally woke up, he was grinning.
he was all right.
Yeah.
I'm good.
This is ridiculous. And does Frazier even know that? Frazier's like he's eating donuts in this little
Frazier
office.
walked away.
Yeah, Frazier was like, that'll do.
Frazier's like, I just shot this guy 6 times. He's clearly dead.
And he's like, he's just got his feet up on the desk. He's like, any minute now, we're gonna hear them come and drag him away. Any minute now.
They're gonna come cheering my name, Frazier. Frazier.
So Frazier is okay. Go on with the story.
The
This is
bad
getting
blood
crazy.
continued to boil. The town was divided. Long-standing Pecos families backed Frazier, while the religious folks supported Jim Miller.
So Frazier found out now that he's still alive,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "What the fuck? I should have blown his fucking head off."
Why didn't he shoot him in the head?
Because that's what you didn't do. I guess you shot people in the chest a whole lot.
You gotta have, morals.
I don't know. And an,
Chest is an easier thing to aim at, right? So you're just like,
That's
bigger.
yeah. Center mass, center mass. That's what you got to go for.
Is that what it is?
Center mass. Yeah, bro.
That's a position on a football team in Boston.
I thought it was like a sailboat reference.
Ooh, center mass, yeah.
Yeah.
Center mast,
Mast.
right?
The religious folks supported Jim Miller, who claimed he was being persecuted for his faith.
Of course they did. No offense. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm calling anyone names, but
In an effort to calm things down,
he seems like a good role model.
the citizens elected a new sheriff. Frazier was so upset about over losing his job that he left town to start a new life in New Mexico.
Of course. I'd be like, all right, you guys want to do that?
Fuck you
Fuck off.
guys.
Yeah.
But Jim didn't forget his vendetta.
Jim is the pettiest dude.
He strode around Pecos, bragging that he would one day kill Bud Frazier.
One day, I'm gonna kill Bud Frazier.
He got a second chance when Frazier
fucking
returned. Yeah, that's a good impression. That's it's so uncanny. You sound just like him.
What's going on today?
I'm good. You know, one day I'm gonna kill Bud Frazier. You have a good one.
You as well. Nice day, sir.
Praise the Lord.
I think he's going to kill old Sheriff Frazier one day.
Seems reasonable, though.
All right, well, God bless you. Godspeed.
Goodbye.
Hey, after you kill him, would you mind returning my backhoe? Because I need to get some farming done.
Yeah, I'll see you tonight in your sleep, asshole.
No, you didn't.
Don't worry, I don't really.
Go ahead and keep the hoe.
Yeah, keep it. And I don't really sleep, just so you know. I'm a coffee farmer, and I stay awake most of the time. All of it, to be honest. You don't no reason to come by.
Oh, one other thing.
Oh man!
He shot me.
How
He shot me just for riffing with him. Oh, what kind of demon doesn't like a riff festival? Good day, Sheriff.
Jim got his second chance when Frazier returned to Pecos to pick up the last of his belongings.
What an idiot. Wait, no one warned Frazier? Like, hey.
He had been warned.
Gotta get my
He knew of the
clothes.
threat, so when he ran into Miller on the street,
T-shirts in the old days, right? You had like 3 for your whole life. So you're like, I got to get my shirts.
Frazier knew about the threat, so when he ran into Miller on the street, he didn't hesitate. He immediately pulled his gun and started firing.
Nice!
Again, Jim didn't drop. Frazier, unaware of the breastplate trick, freaked out and ran away. He was like, what the fuck is going on? I just shot this guy like another 6 times. He's just not, he won't. I gotta go. This is really uncomfortable.
It's demonic at that point, right?
Jason Voorhees. Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th?
JV.
Yeah, JV.
Oh, good
not
old
junior
JV.
varsity. Jason Voorhees.
This time, Miller chose a different tactic, and instead of trying to get revenge, he had Frazier arrested for attempted murder.
Oh, that's smart. Finally, he's being smart about
Because Frazier's
this.
not a cop anymore anyways, right? So now it's like, now he's like a civilian that they could be like, you just tried to shoot.
The first trial resulted in a hung jury, the second in an acquittal.
What? They don't like convicting people
No.
back then.
No. Jim returned to Pecos and Frazier to New Mexico. For the next 3 months, Miller and Frazier watched each other through a competing network of spies.
Called Snap, what is it?
Snapchat.
Chatterbait?
Yeah. While Frazier,
lot of
when
cowboys
Frazier
on
had
there.
to make a trip to nearby town of Toya, Miller knew about it. But Frazier came prepared. He was carrying a new weapon, a gun with exploding bullets.
They had those?
I guess he had it specially made, apparently.
He's
Sounds
like, I'm gonna
dangerous.
shoot him this
He was
time.
like, he talked about how like the gun was super accurate, like had been designed with like these crazy accurate sights and these special exploding bullets. It was the whole thing is like, I can't kill this guy, so I have to step up my game now and just carry a small grenade launcher in my hip.
All right, so what happened?
On the night of September 13th, Jim snuck out of Pecos on foot, avoiding Frazier's scouts. He made his way to Toya and head out in a hotel across from Frazier's favorite saloon. At 9 p.m., Jim's friend Bill Earhart signaled that Frazier had sat down.
I know. Related to Amelia?
Definitely.
This-
Definitely. 100%.
right?
No.
That last name?
I don't know.
There's a good chance,
I
actually.
believed it.
50-50 shot.
It's a distinct name.
Bill Earhart signaled that Frazier had sat down at his regular card game.
He said, damn.
Jim left the hotel carrying his double-barreled shotgun, walked across the street and into the saloon. No one in the saloon noticed
This is
Jim.
badass fucking scary cowboy shit, like weird music going on.
He's got this big, long coat. Yeah.
As he's like loading up his gun,
Mm-hmm.
like Paul Thomas Anderson, like boom, 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 and he's like walking out of the street, like, "Hey, Frazier!"
Oh, I got
That's a lot of ammo. He's got a diarrhea gun.
No one in the saloon noticed Jim, at least not until both barrels of his shotgun roared and Bud Frazier's head disappeared in a cloud of blood.
Oh, but he had that gun he wanted to try
I killed Bud Frazier.
He vaporized his head. Like, just bye-bye head.
That's fucking. That makes me want
That
to throw up. First of all, that's fucking. Thanks for saying vaporize
Like, we've
his head.
been following
That's fucking
Jim's
gross.
story, but I was...
Yeah, he's
Frazier.
the anti-hero that you don't like.
Yeah.
Jim's a fucking dick.
I wanted to see how that gun was going to work out.
But here's the good news. When Jim returned to Pecos, he was arrested for the murder.
Yeah,
No, I don't
he
care about the
wasn't
vengeance. I just
convicted.
want the other guy to have his head vaporized. I'm too much of a pussy sometimes for this fucking
Well,
show.
it's interesting.
It's fucking
Interesting
depressing.
note that I didn't really
is
include it,
depressing.
but the
pussy's a good thing, sorry.
the exploding gun disappeared. Like the Frazier's sister showed up and was like, "My brother, I'm gonna get revenge." She started looking for his exploding gun.
It was gone.
And it was gone.
Interesting.
And I don't have any record of what happened to that gun.
No one
He
knows.
probably made it up.
It was a rumor.
It's in a
I got this gun, bullets explode.
It's like a 10-year-old who's like, no, like the baseball bat that I got, it only hits homers. You know, right? It's like so powerful. And I got these new Nikes. They make you run like 5 miles per hour faster. Watch me run real quick. I just accidentally licked the mic screen.
I just watched you lick the mic screen.
We saw you lick the mic screen.
Yeah, you should see. He can deep throat that whole thing.
I over-riffed.
It's pretty intense.
I over-riffed, guys.
That's all right. There's no such thing. You did great.
I thought it was great.
When Barney
I would
Riggs
like to
hurt,
see
I just want to
it
move
with the
on.
gun.
I just want to move on.
Okay.
That seriously is kind of
Go on with the story, Slaton.
okay. When Barney Riggs heard the news, he grabbed his .45 and rode for Pecos. He found Earhart and Denston in the Orient Saloon. Earhart got the draw on Riggs, but missed, and Riggs caught him with a bullet between the eyes. Denston tried to grab the gun, but when Riggs ripped it away, he ran out the doors and down the street. Riggs followed him outside and calmly shot off the back of his head.
Okay, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, that was happening to me too.
Okay.
No idea
Slaton,
who
we got to
these
go
people
back and we got to affirm who these characters
Barney
are.
Riggs is the cousin of the sheriff who initially accused Jim Miller of being the thief.
Frasier's?
Yeah.
Fraser's cousin is Barney
Okay.
Riggs. Earhart is the friend who set up the sheriff to be shot.
That's Jim's friend.
Yeah.
And Denston is Jim's relative who'd murdered the squealer.
Conway.
Con Gibson.
Twitty.
Yep,
Okay.
Conway Twitty. So Riggs shows up to Miller's been arrested. Riggs shows up and is like, you know what? There's two of his friends. Fuck those guys.
Oh, I'm gonna get that's gonna be our vengeance. Is I'm gonna take.
I'm gonna start with these two motherfuckers.
I'm going to kill Miller's friend.
Miller's friends, yeah.
To punish him
So-
for killing the Sheriff Fraser.
For killing my cousin,
Okay.
Sheriff Fraser.
It's real Sopranos right now.
Actually, the quote here is that Earhart pulled his gun out and put his gun to the head of Riggs before Riggs could draw and was like, you shouldn't have come back to town. But then when he pulled the trigger, Riggs shifted his head real quick.
Yeah.
And the bullet just grazed him. And then he drew and shot Earhart right between the eyes.
Damn!
Yeah.
That's
Can
crazy.
you imagine that shit? How loud and intense it would be to be almost shot and be grazed
How fast is
and
that
still be
guy?
awake enough to be fighting for your life, like old school, cowboy shit where you pull out a revolver and you cock it back and just fire.
So then Denston, the guy who'd murdered the squealer,
Conway.
Denston tries to grab the gun, but Riggs rips it out of his hand, so Denston takes off running.
And that's when he blew the back of his head off.
Riggs falls him outside, and as the guy's running away, he just goes, pop, and blows the back of his head off.
Dude,
Yeah.
fucking justice kind of happened.
Bad motherfucker stuff.
This is scary, but awesome because it is somewhat justice, right? I mean, somewhat, right?
So Miller's friends got shot.
Miller's friends are dead.
Okay.
Two of his,
Two of them.
who
Two
are
of his-
probably
A
goons
friend and a
also.
relative. As a crowd gathered around the body of Denston, a friend of Con Gibson, the murder victim from years ago, bent over and scooped up the brains from the ground.
Ew.
When asked what he was going to do with them, he grinned and said, send them to Con's widow.
Interesting.
Cool. She'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, what's this? It's from one of Con's friends. Let me see what it is. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Was she evil too? Does she deserve to be brought in on this? I mean,
That's
Fuck is this?
yeah.
No, her reaction was probably like, "This is nice, thank you. You're so bless your heart, sending me these brains.
Sending me these brains.
I'll have to write a thank you note.
You know, my heart's been empty since my husband Con was murdered,
Yes, ma'am.
but now I can fill it with these dead brains,
That's wonderful, ma'am.
and I honestly, it's just turned my whole life around."
Just glad we could help, ma'am. I'm just glad we could help you through the process, ma'am. She's a little weird, don't you think?
Did
Let's
anyone
get out of here.
I know this is kind of a weird question. You guys got me the brains, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Did anybody happen to get an ear or a toe or anything like that? I'm trying to make a necklace.
This is sick, what you're doing right now. Some guy died.
I'm a grieving widow, so I think that you shouldn't be holding it against me. These are my proclivities.
I thought it was weird that you thought that the brains were, a good gift, but this is getting weird.
Why the brains?
I don't know. It's it's a part of.
They
are
were
you saying,
there.
literally, why did the guy?
I guess it was easier than taking a knife out and cutting his ear off. He was like, "Well, these are already down here, they're already all over the floor, so
What
I might
a
as well
gritty
take 'em."
lifestyle in the old days,
I'd be
or
so
in some
grossed
places
out
still
if someone
nowadays.
Sent me brains. It's like I appreciate what you were trying to do.
Did you see that dude on CNN, Reza Aslan, who was doing that show called Believer, and he ate brains?
Whose
No.
brains did he eat?
There's some cannibal tribe in some other state that or some other
Oh,
country
like
that
a human?
he ate
Some
human
other
brains.
state.
He ate human brains. They eat
Arizona.
Nevada, they eat brains.
they eat dead people. When people die, they eat them in this
Yeah,
weird
like
tribe.
an
That's
indigenous tribe.
not even healthy.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they do actually get diseases from it.
Yeah, you're
there's
not
a brain
supposed-
disease that you get from eating other humans' brains, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why he
Is
did it. I'm like,
zombie?
what did you do?
You're supposed to eat them if you kill them, not if they're already dead, right?
Yeah,
I don't think
you're
you
always
should
supposed to eat brains, obviously.
I don't think it's healthy to eat humans.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, they just don't taste good. Folks, I've been eating humans for years. And they just don't taste great.
Riggs was tried for the murder of Earhart and Denston, where he was acquitted on the grounds of self-defense.
Okay, that's fair enough, right?
Well, for the first one, yes, but Denston was running away when he shot him.
You know what's so funny? Not one person, and then all of this murderous stuff.
Has been convicted
Not once.
because they're all white, so it's all
White
right.
privilege.
In the
Miller free on bail before his trial in the Fraser murder.
Whoa.
Miller
Let's
free
untie that
on
tongue of
bail
yours.
before his trial in the Fraser murder.
One more time.
Miller free on bail before his
Miller
trial.
decided that his breastplate would not protect against a man who shot people in the head, and he left town.
He's like, I gotta get him.
So wait, so Miller's out of jail?
Miller's out on bail.
Oh, fuck. Why did they give him bail? He's a fucking murderer.
I need to
He
steal
didn't steal a horse.
plate from
He's
my
a murderer.
head.
I'll bail you right now, dog.
Okay, you
You know what? And this is Magneto's origin story. He's
true.
going to get a steel plate for his head.
You nailed it. It's
I knew
accurate.
The magnificent Magneto.
Jim made his new home in the town of Eastland, where his next trial was to be held in 6 months.
Eastland and down.
Eastland.
He spent time ingratiating himself with the local population, and by the time the trial began, he was known as a upstanding, church-going member of the community.
Deacon Jim.
The ploy worked, and Jim was acquitted.
Wow. All the stuff that so we got a little justice, but the main culprit here seems to be just running around doing whatever the hell he wants, and it's really just it makes me feel bad.
Happened so many times. Like, what is this telling this guy?
Oh,
He
just
can
wait.
do anything he wants.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
Such a narcissist.
Next,
Right?
he moved to Memphis, Texas, where he somehow became a Texas Ranger. Shortly after that, a local
Wait, he went to Memphis and became a Texas
Memphis,
Ranger?
Texas.
Oh,
There's a town of there's a
I'm
town
like, you can't go to Memphis and be like, I'm a Texas
in like the
Ranger.
northern
couple
Panhandle
Memphises.
area of
Okay.
Texas. There's a
I just learned that now too.
I'll
But
allow it.
I just learned that myself.
somehow becomes a Texas Ranger. Like he keeps on getting jobs as law enforcement, despite
guy-
being like a
Because
pretty.
He's a
regular-
sociopath.
This guy's he's got to be charming as fuck and doesn't give a fuck, so then he can do whatever he wants.
Shortly after getting his new badge, a local man was murdered, his head blown off with a shotgun.
Oh, that's
While
not
he
him,
was
that's
sleeping.
Another man was arrested for the crime on the testimony of a witness, but a few days before the trial, the witness turned state's evidence, admitting that Jim had convinced him to frame the man so they could collect the $10,000 reward.
Jim loves murder.
Jim was arrested and convicted, but again got out on a technicality.
I think he's like a practical murderer. Like he has no feelings for doing it. He just does what he's got to do. But he probably doesn't like murder. But he's just like, yeah, we'll just kill him and then we'll do that.
That's
Like he sounds like
always
a calculated.
That's his
practical
go-to
man.
move, though.
Oh.
It's always like,
Well,
well, we kill him, and then I guess we could rob him. Well, we could just rob him without killing him, Jim. Yeah,
But then, yeah, this.
no, it's fine.
the killing's kind of like the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't you like the way the guns sound when they go off?
He's like, I'll be acquitted, and it
Like, you're
just-
gonna have cookies without milk? Like, what are you doing? We rob murder, obviously.
rob murder.
3 weeks after his case was thrown out on a technicality, the witness was dead and the DA was poisoned with arsenic. No one was willing to press charges.
No one was.
No one was willing to press charges. Everyone's like, you know what? Fuck it. Just go. Just don't. Please leave. In 1900, Jim and Sally relocated to Fort Worth, setting up a boarding house in a nice part of town. It was here that Jim found his true calling
Murdering people that boarded up at the house.
as a painter.
Oh.
I'm a painter of death.
This is the story of Norman Rockwell.
He
isn't it?
paints with blood.
What does he paint?
No, he doesn't. He actually does murder for hire. That's
Oh, I thought you were serious. It's like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
He turned into a fucking hitman?
yeah. He became a hitman.
Wait,
Hired assassin.
Can I get a hitman?
his true calling.
Yeah, murder for hire. For some reason, a small war had broken out between cattle ranchers and sheep herders.
As it
heard
always.
cattle.
I heard sheep.
Oh, you're going to die.
Not if I don't get you first and feed you to my sheep. Look out!
Oh no! I had a machine gun.
Johnson, light the dynamite! Long story boring, jobs in the saddle like cattle ranching were considered respectable, while jobs done on foot like sheep herding were for foreigners or Mexicans.
Loser!
What are you like? Not from here?
Yeah, brownie.
Calling a man a sheep herder was more of an insult than a liar or a thief.
Wow.
Hey, what's up, sheep herder?
Jesus, that's fucking low.
You ain't nothing but a sheep herder.
You can at least call me a liar. Jeez.
Jim's services were in high demand. His standard price for killing a sheep herder was $150.
Oh my
Wow,
God, this
that's
is
a lot of
disgusting.
money.
That's disgusting.
Around $4,000
It's
today.
a few $1,000s. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
They would just kill someone for a few $1,000s.
Business was good.
He loves killing.
That's true.
During that time, he bragged that he had
Touche.
killed 11 men, but he had lost count of sheep herders.
Damn, he's clowning.
This
Yeah.
is a
He's
fucking
throwing
Coen Brothers
shade.
movie.
I mean, I've killed 11 men, sheep herders.
They're dehumanized because they sheep herd. That's fucking weird.
Soon, poor farmers began to encroach on the cattle land, so Jim killed them too. When a lawyer named James Jarrett had some success representing farmers in court, the cattleman hired Jim. His fee rose to $500. They were happy to pay, and he put 4 bullets in the attorney. Jim made such good money killing that he decided to update his wardrobe. He replaced his beat-up black hat with a white Stetson, bought a diamond ring and a diamond-studded lapel pin. By now, he had no fear. He happily told the tales of his murders, followed by warnings to his audience that they would appear in a future story if they testified against him.
Like if you were sitting at around and he was talking at a restaurant or something like that. Like
He'd be
bragging.
like, yeah, and then I shot this guy in the face, I shot that guy in the head.
And if any of you ever say anything, you'll be dead too.
I'll tell a story about you next week. You get what I'm saying?
God damn.
Reminds me of the time I shot this guy. He was herding a sheep, and I just pulled out my gun, shot him right in the face, and I'll shoot you too.
That's a good story. You know what? Drinks are on me. And I will see you
I
next
just
week.
imagine him as like this whimsical old man, just like really charismatic, telling these great stories, and he's just like, by the way,
Nonchalantly, just-
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I killed him. He was really fun though.
He was he put up a good fight.
Yeah.
He got it, but I got him.
Shot him once and didn't do the job, so I shot him again.
Jim used his reputation to run a new scam, selling plots of land that turned out to be in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
People did that a lot in the old days, Christine. Just so you know,
There's tons of that.
Be grateful you're not alive then, because
Why?
someone would have probably already sold you land, maybe even twice, by now.
Yeah.
That wasn't real.
Yeah. That's a whole thing. That's a big thing. there.
People used to. You could just get away with it in the old days.
You just
'cause
draw a fake map and you just go, yeah, look, that's where it is.
and people would just be like, "Oh, cool," and they would give you their life savings. Yeah, it's crazy. The old
This
days.
guy, but I'm going to go back and say again that Jim is very ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, everything he's done is criminal, but like,
He's a hustler.
But you still would date him. You'd still swipe right.
oh no, he's with Sally, and they have this thing, and I wouldn't want to get.
But if you could be Sally, you
I mean, those
might-
pale blue eyes, Come
right?
on.
And probably a really cool like Clint Eastwood hat. I'm just saying.
He's the original hot mugshot guy.
Totally.
Yeah.
I bet he abused his wife.
No, apparently, I mean, she was super duper loyal. Like when people would
Yeah,
come.
that doesn't mean he didn't abuse her.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with my lawyer, Christine.
I
Little.
don't get that. Like from what I've read,
terrified of him.
no, from what I've
No
read,
way.
like because she came from a family of like hard gunslingers too, and so I've like read all these accounts of like people going to her and telling her like, can you get your husband to stop? And she's like, fuck you, dude. That's what we do. Like she's down.
Oh
Like,
yeah, she's a real bro wife.
yeah. Like if she.
Bro, what?
Yeah, it's like that's what he does. So yeah,
That's him.
It's a real bro
What's
wife.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
She had juicy sweatpants back in the old
She's
days.
that
Ugg
the
boots.
female version of the in the Tupac song "Me and My Girlfriend."
Yes.
that's her.
Yeah, she's down as fuck. She's a ride or die.
She's a
bitch.
ride or
That's
die.
what she is.
We
Ride
call them
or
ladies
die.
now, but yes, a ride or die lady. Thank you. I got
A
you.
ride or die Philly.
Female.
Oh, Philly.
Jim pulled off the new scam. His business partner quickly realized that he was party to a scam and threatened to go before a grand jury. Miller didn't like that, so he put a bullet in his chest in front of a large audience.
Whoa, in front of people.
Now he's performing.
He feels like I was gonna say he feels like he's in a dream world. He can just do anything he wants and get away with it.
And he's like doing it for audiences now. He's like, "I'll take this on Broadway."
After he turned to the witnesses with tears rolling down his cheeks and said, "It's awful to have to kill a friend. I did everything I could to keep him from reaching for his gun." He was acquitted on the grounds of self-defense.
That's where this came from.
Oh my god.
Did that whole cliche come from that guy doing it?
What cliche?
Like that, like, folks, you saw it. He had a gun. Like that's like a little
you mean
like
gaslighting?
Yeah,
gaslighting?
that's a term when you tell people that the truth is not what it is.
No, but I mean like just the old like Charles Bronson used to do pick up the gun. Wait, is it Charles Bronson who used to do it? So he used to do the pick up the gun and he like make the criminal or the.
But this wasn't even that. This guy was just like, "Hey man, I'm gonna tell that you're doing bad things. We shouldn't do it." Blam, man, you guys saw it. It's really shitty that he reached for his gun, right, guys? He totally reached for his gun, didn't he?
And that's called gaslighting.
He?
That's called gaslighting.
Yeah. It's a version. It's
form.
borderline
Okay.
gaslighting. Yeah.
Another form of gaslighting would be like,
Lighting gas.
this is gas, and you'll be like, "This isn't gas. This is a water bottle." I'm like, "No, this is gas."
And you're
Everyone
waiting
knows
for me
this
to
is
agree.
gas.
Like, are we lying to a third party together? Like,
try to make you seem like you're crazy, and like the truth isn't the
Oh.
truth. Like Trump.
When I was a advisor for like
say that?
CITs at a summer camp, we had
CITs.
counselors in training.
Okay.
They're all like
you
17.
didn't know that acronym? What a loser!
They're all like 17-year-olds.
It's kind of some kind of sheep herder over here.
One of the guys was like, one of the guys in the group was like really fun, but like kind of a goofball, and his name was Joe. And we decided that we were just gonna be like, you know what, we're just gonna decide that his name's Ben now. and we got the entire camp to just stop calling him Joe and start calling him Ben.
Oh, you know, that's called bullying.
Yeah, Slate, I don't know that's so much gaslighting as
Well,
specifically
eventually
as
he
just
just
being a
eventually he was just like, you know what, this is
of
my
a
name
human
now.
being.
You're a fucking
Eventually, he just
cheaper.
answered to the name.
And he killed himself 2 years later. He also had a lot of things about himself he was not able to be
He and I
real
are
about.
friends to this day.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
You and Bill?
He had a
Oh,
disability.
Bill. That's what we called him. We didn't call him Ben. We called him Bill.
Oh, wow.
How did you know that?
I just
Were you
thought-
there?
No, I thought you said Bill.
He had
Oh.
a disability. We'd often just like kind of gather around and point at it.
Yeah. We dump him off of the end of the pier into the lake in his wheelchair.
Yeah, we all started calling him.
Billy.
He started.
Good
By the end of the
guy.
summer, he was just like, "Yeah, my name's Bill."
He was a lot of fun.
He was fun. Goofy guy. He deserved it.
Jim was acquitted on the grounds of self-defense. In 1903, a U.S. Marshal shot and paralyzed a man during a 4th of July party.
It was him.
The man's family, hot on revenge, hired a gunslinger to kill the marshal for $500. The assassin took the $200 advance, then warned the lawman of the plan and skipped town. So the family turned to Miller, who put 2 loads of buckshot into the marshal for the price of $2,000.
Nice.
Again, he was arrested. Again, he was acquitted.
Dude, this family is not good at investing money.
What do you mean? They got the guy that they wanted to kill.
They paid $500 to one guy, and then they paid $2,000 to another guy. Like, is revenge that important?
Well,
people?
really, what it is
I think
that
it was to a lot of people.
they
in those
bought the
days.
discount. They were like,
That's how you got justice in those, because obviously the court system was a little funky.
I guess
if
that's
you haven't
true.
noticed, like,
a little,
you know what I mean?
a little funky.
That's
is
why
a good
they.
way to put it.
That's why nowadays we use that term. Like it's like the Wild West out here, because like the system's broken.
okay.
It barely
that makes
functioned,
sense. All right.
We all saw Back to the Future 3. Like the Wild West was crazy,
Crazy.
crazy.
I saw Westworld.
Oh,
What you
I
running
love
for?
Westworld. I starred in it. I was the blonde woman. Yep.
Really? I was the British one.
There's a few British people in that movie.
You know what? I actually
was
could see
the
that.
Dandy
Oh my God!
No, if you got cast,
The star android woman.
if the star android lady,
Oh,
I can see
yeah.
that. There's
I get
certainly
that a lot. A lot of white guys started messaging me when that show was on.
Yeah.
Really?
You look like Dandy Newton.
Voice
specifically
messaging
like-
you?
Hi.
You have one message.
Hey, I just want to say that I was watching Westworld, and you look like that one robot.
To erase, press 7. Beep. You have one new message.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to say I've been watching Westworld, and you look like that one.
And it just keeps going on and on and on. You remind me of that Westworld girl. No, they think she looks like Ed Harris. No, Ed Harris, you dumb bitch.
No,
Like,
the man,
delete.
the man in black.
Yeah, the man in black.
Dumb.
That's Ed Harris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was me. You know, he
Dude.
was a nice guy at first.
Dude, I didn't know that was going to be it. I thought
Blew
something else.
my mind.
Oh man. Did you like that show?
Yeah,
Okay.
good show.
In
Sorry. I got
1908,
I love that show. Sorry. go on.
Miller was accused of killing Pat Garrett, the lawman who'd gunned down Billy the Kid.
Not Pat Garrett. Oh, really?
PG?
Yeah,
But,
PG-13 apparently didn't make it much past 15.
But another man confessed to the crime, and Jim was set free.
I did it.
Now,
You're
interesting.
such a big fan, Jim. I couldn't let you take this one without my help.
I won't get convicted,
Don't
so
worry.
don't feel bad.
Interesting.
And if I
Actually,
do, I got nothing to do.
interesting enough, the other guy did not get convicted. He was acquitted. The guy who confessed to the murder was found not guilty on the grounds of, say it together, folks, self-defense.
Wow, you
I
could just
was
use that
gonna
for
say
anything.
that.
They
Yeah.
they barely use that anymore, right?
So who was
George
the
Zimmerman.
jury? Like, how dumb are the people? Are they all sheep herders?
Yeah, that's
You fucking racist prejudice.
Man, look at you taking swings like that.
You're a prejudice.
That's terrible.
Prejudiciary. Yes.
In 1909, Jim Miller received the biggest contract of all.
His penis.
A hit
Kill
on
everyone. It will just be you on Earth. Here's $5 million worth an estimated $100 million in the future. Just kill the planet. He starts shooting dolphins. Why are you shooting the dolphins? Get out of my way, boy. I was hired to do a job, and I don't stop till it's done. Yeah, you find out he's the guy that shot Whitney in that movie, The Bodyguard.
Kill the entire planet. He's the bodyguard guy.
Guys, I have some good news. I think I found out who actually killed Selena. It wasn't that tiny girl with the weird
it's
hair.
This weird cowboy dude.
It was this guy who always wears a coat.
He's just a time-traveling assassin.
JFK?
Jim Miller,
Jim Miller killed him.
Jim Miller killed him.
Fucking Miller.
Jim MK.
JFK.
who, by the way, eventually earned the nickname Killer Jim Miller.
Killer Jim Miller.
Jim Miller.
That's like a
got some
surf thing. Oh, dude, he was Killer Jim Miller.
Killer Miller, bro.
Killer Miller, bro.
Deacon Jim.
Hell,
Killing
no.
Jim Miller.
Hell yeah, man, I'll tell you.
1909, Jim Miller receives his biggest contract of all, a hit on former Deputy U.S. Marshal Gus Bobbitt of Ada, Oklahoma.
So he's like getting dressed for work. His wife's like helping him put on his tie. He's like, I'm really nervous. This is the biggest hit of my career.
Honey, you're going to be fine. You've been doing this for a long time.
No, but I've never killed someone this high up before.
Look,
Like, you
they wouldn't have hired you if they didn't know you could do it.
don't fucking get it, okay? You've never killed anybody. Sally.
But look, I've been with you for a long time, and I'm starting to understand the business. And I just
you
really
get
think
the business. You don't know what it's like to go out and kill people every day.
I mean, I'm just trying to be
It's getting
supportive.
weird, isn't it?
That's good. I was just trying. I was like, is he gonna pull his gun out so I can go? That's what I was waiting for. Someone's got to shoot off. Like he'd be like, "Damn it, woman!" And he'd just fire 3 shots into the air.
He loved Sally.
Gus Bobbitt had been
Sally
locked
was
in
a
a
good old
long
girl.
and bloody feud with a pair of local ranchers.
Gosh, Bobbitt.
In 1908 alone,
Dog Bobbitt. That's a really friendly way of saying "God damn it."
Dog Bobbitt.
If I see one more gosh Bobbitt feather laying around in here, boy, you're never bringing the chickens inside again.
In 1908 alone, the rivalry accounted for
Remember John
36
Bobbitt?
murders.
He had his penis cut
that's
off.
what I kept
I'll never
thinking
forget. Do you
about.
think he's
Lorena
still?
Bobbitt?
Yeah,
I've tried so many times to figure out if there's a way to do that story on the show without like
letting us know that it's the John Bobbitt story.
right out of the gate. Yeah,
Bobbitt.
I've kind of decided I don't think we're ever going to do it.
I don't think I could sit through an
I'm sure there's
hour of
been a
talking about
lot
having a
of
penis cut off.
Bobbitt.
What do you mean? That's like basically what our show is already.
That's
anyway.
true, but that's a really harsh. Do you imagine your penis being cut off? That would just be. That's just a really bad thing.
Imagine it.
It's hard, right?
Imagine all the penis getting cut.
Getting cut off of dudes. You could be next.
Chop, chop, chop.
You may say.
I gotta pee.
Well, let's see. In 1908 alone, the rivalry accounted for 36 murders. The ranchers wanted Bobbitt dead and hired Jim for the price of $2,000, around $50,000 today.
How is this the biggest one if he already did a $2,000?
It's not the price. It's
it's
the
the-
job.
Yeah.
Sometimes your biggest jobs don't pay the best, but they
Well,
offer the
he
most.
This is like,
He
you know how you
should've-
don't get paid to do the Super Bowl? It's just for exposure.
No.
They don't pay Super Bowl performers. Like
like
Really?
Britney Spears doesn't get paid to do it.
Beyonce didn't get
Dude,
paid for
fuck
it. Bruno Mars didn't get
that.
paid for it.
But when
I
you do
would-
it, though, your sales go up that week. Big
Yeah,
time,
it's-
for sure.
Well,
it's
he
the only
should've
exposure
charged
job that's
more.
actually worth the exposure.
Is it?
Yeah. So someone's like, "Hey, you want to do a
Tell
spot
that
at the
to
football?"
Janet Jackson.
J.
if you're
Janet
nasty.
Jackson. Ladies and
J.
gentlemen,
Janet
this is
Jackson.
J. Janet Jackson.
Miss Nasty if you're Miss Jackson. If
Miss N. Nasty Jackson.
On February 27th, 1909, Jim Miller lay in wait for his target just outside the man's home.
he was laying down.
As Bobbitt's wagon passed his hiding place, Jim let loose with a pair of shotgun blasts, then ran off into the wilderness. This killing whipped the locals into a frenzy, not because it was a murder of a U.S. Marshal, but because it was an ambush rather than a fair fight. Deputies tracked Miller to a nearby ranch, where he surrendered peacefully, stating that he never gave lawmen trouble as he preferred his chances in court.
That's right.
Miller was tried for the murder of Gus Bobbitt alongside his employers. Jim, unlike his compatriots, was not worried. Despite his incarceration, he dressed in his finest clothes, shaved twice daily, and ordered porterhouse steaks from a local restaurant, tipping $5 for each delivery.
How did he? What, in jail?
Yeah, this a general theme on the show is that jails in the past, if you had money, were
You
basically
could
just like,
order in.
Yeah,
you could have our whores and takeout food. It actually sounds better.
Give me a steak.
You're never bored, right? You can bullshit with the sheriff. You
So
might even
why?
make
So
friends
you
with them.
want to get acquitted? I mean, not acquitted. You want to get convicted.
Hit it, then acquit
I
it.
forgot what convicted, what the word even was. Because
we haven't said it yet.
We have never said it.
Jim knew the
dear
courts. Jim knew the courts would probably set him free.
Yeah.
So you can imagine his surprise on April 19th at 2 a.m.
April 19th. That was,
Guilty. Oh yeah, he's like about to fucking smoke up
when
one. He's like,
40 masked men forced their way into the county jail. The mob took them to a barn where they quickly strung up the other suspects, saving Jim Miller for last.
ooh, would they give him a party?
They tried to get him to confess, but Miller remained defiant. He said, "Just let the record show that I've killed 51 men." Then he took off his diamond ring and asked to be delivered to his wife.
oh, so he knew he's finally going down. Mm-hmm. But he's proud of his kills, like he's a warrior.
But did he
Let the record show, motherfucker, you're a murderer, not a hero.
Did that include the sheep herders or no?
I mean, I don't.
Oh my God!
Are
no,
they men?
Great point. Because that 51, and he didn't even consider them men unless he changed it at the end for his stats.
a possibility.
I feel like he probably did.
We all know sports guys. I mean,
Yeah.
He took his diamond-encrusted pen and asked it to be delivered to the jailer as thanks for his kind service.
Thank you for your
This guy was playing a fucking video game in life.
As
Holy
the
fuck.
mob played
It's been
the-
an honor, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
As the mob placed the noose around his neck, Jim asked for his coat, the lucky black one that had always protected him.
Give me my coat.
When the mob refused, he asked for his hat. They obliged.
Give me my damn hat then.
Jim laughed. "Let her rip," he yelled, before stepping off the box himself.
Holy fuck! He knew the jig would be up one day.
And he, not only that, he got one more murder in last minute
His
himself.
own. High five. That was really good.
That was bad.
That was really good. He got one more murder.
As his
That's the
body,
record show, 52. Snap. Yeah, he says 52. It's the next snap. 52.
as his body swung in the air, someone put the coat around his shoulders.
Who did?
Someone.
Jimmy
I don't know who.
Jim.
Bobbitt. Gus Bobbitt.
A photographer was brought in to capture the moment. Pictures of the hanging were sold to tourists for years to come.
The photographer came in and then Jim like woke up real quick, killed him, and went back.
And that's the story of Killer Jim
Dude.
Miller.
Kill Jim
okay,
Miller.
is that Jim Croce song, Big Bad Jim, about Jim Miller?
No idea. I never heard that song before.
No
idea.
thought you were singing
Now
Black
that I
Friday.
hear the lyrics, I can totally. Yeah, that's the song.
Oh no, it's Leroy Brown. Wait, what is Big Jim? Is that
Jim Brown.
no, it's Leroy Brown. So then, what is the Jim? Is it a Willie Nelson? There's a song with Jim. I don't know. I think it's him, but maybe it's
You
just James
guys,
Brown.
if you guys know what song John's talking about, please donate.
Thank you so much for looking out for me there.
Of course.
I always love to be informed,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just need someone to look ahead
Knowledge is power.
for you, right?
And I want to be powerful.
Oh my God, power lives matter.
Power. Whoa. That's really good.
That was really intense, right?
Whoa.
fact.
That was like a sound machine.
It was like just hanging out next to Jim as he was busting caps in people. We could dub that out though. That'd be fun. It's just at least just to see a Western fight, like with the people.
I
like,
think we should do
pulling their-
it. Or even like an up-to-date one, you know.
Oh, a modern one, up to date. What kind of movie was it? It was an up to date movie about. That's a fun way to reference
Up
it.
to date.
So this guy grew up. Let's recap this story now, since
Yeah.
I love recapping.
You do love the recap.
This guy,
Recap.
that's fun. The recap, Christine's recap voice.
Yeah.
Recap. I just feel like
It's a drop.
right.
It's a drop.
Do it one more time
Recap.
with like reverb at the end of that.
Sure.
Oh, dude. So this guy grew up. With his dad died really young.
This guy probably murdered his grandparents
Probably
at 8.
murdered his grandparents.
Why do you think he did? Why
when
did
he was
he
a child.
murdered his grandparents?
We'll never know.
He was bored.
That's between him and
Grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, that we'll never know.
Then he murdered his brother-in-law
Brother-in-law.
when he was 17.
Then
Oh,
skip
the one
that.
that he like bragged about before he did it.
Disappears for a few years. Comes back as the man in the long black coat.
Gets in with a kind of a adventurous family. Let's just call him that. A wealthy adventurous family.
No. He got in with a adventurous family, then he disappeared and became.
There
the
you
man
go.
with
That's
the
right.
coat.
Got on with the adventurous family.
And Sally came back.
Then he got revenge for the dad being killed.
Yep. So
Then he disappears.
So which
then
is
he comes
interesting.
back as the man in the long black coat.
Okay. And then the rest of his life is just him like moving from town to town, killing people, and just being
Starting
a brute,
the
just
big-
being a fucking brute.
Big feud with Frasier.
Huge.
Like his life is just riddled with self-induced strife.
But what a great ending for him to like kind of have like a weird gentlemanly like fucking like, all right, jig's up, game's over.
I'm just mad. Like I wish he felt bad about it. But
Of
he's
course.
like, no, let the record show that I killed 51 people. Like, and he wouldn't admit to killing the last guy. But then he was like, well, let the record show I killed 51. You know what I mean? It's like, why didn't he just?
Wait, he didn't admit that he killed the last guy?
No.
Oh, because to him, he's insulting him like his
He was
last.
only like 43
His
when he
last
died.
insult.
He didn't go that
He was
long.
only 43.
He was born in 1866, died in 1909.
He did so much.
That's pretty old in the old days if you're not extremely wealthy, though, right? 43.
He killed
Not
a
really.
bunch of people. He like started businesses. He had a hotel. He, what else did
He was a freelance murderer. He was an
He's a
assassin, a
freelance
hitman, or whatever, for a
murderer.
long
He had a
time.
boarding house. Like he's kind of
wonderful
an
marriage.
entrepreneur. Yeah, Sally
As far as we
lived
know,
there.
Sally.
She was
We didn't
down.
hear anything about Sally.
Yeah, she wasn't really the focal point of the story. It's not really. It wasn't really.
Well, this is 2017, and just because she's a woman, Rich, doesn't mean
I would be interested to see like what she thought about it. If she was like cool, or like if he really loved her because he seems like a total sociopath.
that it is part. Even though she's
So
not a
it's
huge part of the story,
interesting
like
to
it's
me.
still it's still like a human like need to know like who loves a man like this and what was her personality.
Yes,
like.
exactly.
Like it is fascinating.
no one wrote a book.
No,
on
I know,
Sally.
'cause
People don't be writing books on bitches.
It was that's right. In the old days, that's how they said it. Like, a book on Sally. What?
Who the heck?
She's
what?
not even a sheep herder, for God's sakes. Well, who cares?
It goes man, sheep herder, Sally.
That really is how it was in the old days. Do you ever notice like old I watched a Jim Henson thing. It was like an old
The
like
puppet guy?
oh yeah, dude. Jim Henson he did a lot of storytelling back in the old days, and he did like fairy tales, right? And they're all these old fairy tales, and they're all basically centered around wealthy. What do you call it? Like royalty, princes and kings. And you go like, eventually you're like, is it all just about princes and kings? And you're like, that's who they were saying was worthy of recording the story about.
Well, also that's like
Like that's just what it was. And in the old days, they were the same way with
you
women.
didn't
They'd be
have-
like, why would I tell a story about a woman?
I'm gonna
Like,
play devil's advocate. I was, binging on the Netflix or Hulu, trying to look at movies, and
Yeah.
I played this game, and it was like every cover, it was like guy, one girl, two guys, guy,
Yeah.
guy. I was like, oh my god, and I didn't notice that at first.
yeah. And then
This
now
is
we have to go
interesting.
through probably a whole decade of the pendulum swinging to being annoyed with like, okay, every cover you're like, it's a chick. Okay, it's a Mexican star and a black guy. Okay, like it's just gonna be like a blowback, and then it'll even out eventually. We'll be like, it's a person on the cover, and then we'll have a different like thing that we're upset about.
Maybe.
He's a consumer zombie robot.
this week's sources include Shotgun for Hire, a book by Glenn Shirley.
That was intense. the way you said
SweetheartsOfTheWest.com, LegendsOfAmerica.com, AmericanCowboyChronicles.com, HistoryNet.com,
that. Tried to guess what I was gonna say. .com,
of
.net,
course,
.gov, .org.
The Evil Robots at Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
That was Christine Little. If anyone's listening, that is part of her voiceover demo.
Christine, where can people find you on the interwebs or in this universe?
My website is www.christinelittle.net.
Oh, it is .net.
Yeah, I
After
knew,
all
I
that?
knew you were going to do that.
And you led me to that room.
I did.
And then you had a shotgun pointed at me for when I walked in.
And I said,
Jokes on
I'm a
you.
.net. My name's Common. I did a show yesterday or the day before, and this lady's like, "My sister has your exact name."
And you're like, don't look her up. Look me up.
So
Mine's
ChristineLittle.net.
.net. She has .com.
I dominate the Google search engine.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Does that work?
What?
Like to dominate the Google search engine?
What do you mean? Does it work?
Like in life.
It makes me feel good.
That's what I meant by work.
Yeah, it
You can find
works.
Christine on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever at...
Well, they're all different because of my common ass name, but Instagram at the Christine Little. So, but if you go to my website, all that stuff's
all
on
that
there.
stuff's there. You can follow us on social media at CrimePod on
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram. You can also email the show, crimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us story ideas, any questions you have, dick pics, whatever it is. Make sure you label those for Shefsky.
Yes, please.
Yeah, of course.
Dicks.
And also, go ahead and jump on the Patreon. There's a bunch of cool stuff there. You get some bonus episodes. You probably get a little more Christine on there at some point. And you guys are pretty awesome. We love you very much.
I love you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you for doing this.
specifically.
You're awesome. That was so much
thanks for
fun.
having me. This
Bye,
has been fun.
robot.
Bye. Peace out, guys.
Bye.